What is up, my lovely people? So we are trying yet again another setup. I just don't know what's most comfortable for me because honestly, I don't want to stand and do them, and then last week I watched my video and it was just major crackhead energy. Like I was so hyped up. So I was like, maybe if I sit down, I won't feel like I need to be so aggressive. Like, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that's Keith's desk. It's funny, it's a quick story. Me and him got into this huge thing when we first moved in here about I don't need my desk, just use his desk. He doesn't work from home most of the time. Most of the time he works, at work. But sometimes on the rare occasion he does need, to work from home. I don't want to be kicked out of my desk. You know what I mean? No, if you need your desk, I'm not going to move. So I need my own desk. And I like my desk. My desk is small. My desk is perfect. I got my cute little girl, you are powerful, go prove it to the World Cup. Like, this is my space, So we got into it a little bit because he just thought I was wasting space and blah, blah, blah. We can share. And anyways, we have a very important thing to go over today. And that is kind of a tag along of what we talked about last week of how to get and maintain results. So remember we talked about how to get and maintain results is by doing something that's realistic for you, doing a program, following a meal plan. I don't like to say that. Following like a diet. I need to get in the setting here. Following like a diet that works for you, right? So that's what maintaining your results means. So now we're going to dig a little deeper into the food part of that topic because I feel like that's the biggest barrier to people. Most people love working out. Most people love to go to the gym. Most people love to find a group class that they like. Most people like, they find a trainer they love. That's not the biggest issue. When I have clients come to me, majority of them can crush their workouts, no problem. The problem that they face is, the food. It's hard. I get it. It's really hard. And we know that food is the driver of results. So we wish it was working out. Most people are like, I will work out 7 days a week if I don't have to watch what I'm eating. Like, I'm happy to do that. And that's just not the case, unfortunately, there is gray, but you really can't outrun a poor diet. You can outrun a slightly poor diet, but not like a super just trash diet. It's just not possible unless you're spending 5 hours in the gym a day, which is not possible either. So anyways, I don't want to ramble, so I have notes. But yeah, that's what really we're going to focus on. And, you're not going to watch this and be like, ding, ding, I got it. I know it all now, but hopefully this is just going to put things into a little bit of perspective for you. And you'll be able to implement some of these, implement some of these things just ASAP. And again, just because you change your habits or the way that you're eating, you're not going to notice a difference in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And that's another reason why nutrition is so hard, because you start doing it and yeah, you start to feel a little better. You feel like a sense of self-confidence when you choose to eat an apple over a donut. You're like, I made a good choice. And that gives you like a little bit of self, I don't know. What's the word? Is it efficacy? I don't know. You get like a little confidence, that does happen, but physically you don't see anything changing, as opposed to when you go to the gym and you see in the mirror, you see a little sweat. You're like, ooh, I'm sweating a little bit. I got a good workout in. Or, you see that last week you did 10 pounds. This week you're doing 15 pounds. That's motivating, but the food, it happens. It's such an important part, but the results take so much longer that we don't want to do it. And it's hard for us to maintain it, So we're going to get into it. So we're going to talk about basically how to maintain again. So the foods that you're eating while you're in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, this works both ways. And I'm going to get into them both. But the foods that you're eating in either one of those spaces should be the same foods that you eat to maintain your body. And you're like, cool, that doesn't help me at all. I get it, but I'm going to backtrack, okay? Just think of that as your general rule, okay? The foods that you eat in a calorie deficit and in a surplus are the same foods at maintenance. Obviously, there's a little gray here. We're going to get into that, so don't come for me. So when it comes to, your calorie deficit, you're going to be eating. That doesn't mean that, now I eat shakes and smoothies and and salads and I don't know, wraps. I don't know what people could like say is healthy. And all of those types of things have this healthy term associated with them. Like I remember one time I was at the doctor's office, and the lady said, when they were talking amongst each other, and they were like, what did you have for lunch? And she said, a smoothie, you know, one of those healthy diet things. And I'm like, what? Who said that? You know, because you know how bad smoothies can actually be, you know, like there are just like so many smoothies that are just so terrible for you, and so many salads that can be 1,000, 2,000, just so many calories in a salad, and you think you're eating healthy. So that's, you know, you have to stop thinking of foods as this is diet food, this is when I'm not in a diet food, because you can't expect to lose weight on these foods and then you're like, cool, I'm done losing weight. Go back to the foods that you enjoy, the foods that are normal to you, the foods that are not diet foods to you, and then expect to maintain it. Of course you're not going to maintain it. You're doing something completely different than what you were doing to get there. So you have to eat the same foods and whole foods. I've already had a thing about what whole foods are and stuff, and I'll link that at the bottom. That's a completely separate topic, but your calories that you eat whenever you're in a calorie deficit should be whole foods, foods that you enjoy. You know, hit your proteins. You know, foods that are like high nutrients, you know. And yes, of course, you're still going to implement a couple of fun foods. You're not going to implement as many as you would as if you were in maintenance or a surplus. And that's what we're going to talk about later as well. But you're still going to have that balance. You can't just cut out everything, you know. You will need to limit yourself more than if you were in maintenance or a surplus, but don't cut out. So yeah, that just means like, you know, if you normally for lunch, you like to have, or me, for example, this is, I'm just going to use me as an example, but in my breakfast is like my jam. Okay. So when I'm at maintenance, I will eat like bagel, egg and cheese, sandwich. Love it. It's my jam. Okay. Whenever I'm in a calorie deficit, I will cut out the bagel and go for like 2 pieces, either a thin bagel or go for like 2 pieces of just whole wheat bread or whatever, or I'll make an omelet or something, you know. But it's the same exact foods. I just have to tweak them a little bit. So you just make the calories. You take 100 calories, 200 calories from breakfast, and you take another 100 calories from the snack that you have after lunch, and then you take another 100 calories from your dinner. So you take a little bit of calories out of your entire day, and that's what gives you your deficit. That doesn't mean that you eat nothing or that you eat completely different foods. You eat the same foods, you just tone them down a little bit, you know? Same thing for lunch. If you have, you know, 2 chicken thighs for lunch, or let's just use ounces. If you have like 6 ounces of chicken for lunch, or beef or steak or fish, whatever your protein is. If you have 6 ounces of that for lunch, and you normally have 2 cups of carbs, potatoes, rice, noodles, whatever your carbs are. If you 2 cups of that, and then you have a cup of veggie, cool. That's maintenance. Whenever you are in a calorie deficit, guess what you do? You have 5 ounces of your protein, and you have only a cup of your carb source, and keep the vegetables the same. But that's it. You just cut out a little bit here and there, you know? So that way, most people are on like a 500 calorie deficit a day. That's pretty normal. I mean, 300 to 500. Aggressive would be like 700. But, you know, so the 500 calories need to come from a little bit out of everything for the day, right? So that's just how you do that. Same thing for the surplus. If you're in a surplus, then let's just go back to my bagel. I would have my bagel, egg, and cheese sandwich, right? And then I would eat, I don't know, an apple with it, or have a banana with it, or have a shake with it. And the same thing for lunch. So instead of having 6 ounces, 2 cups, a cup of that or whatever, I could have 7 ounces of the protein. And then I could have 2.5 cups of my carbs. And then I could have a cup and a half of my vegetables. So everything, you just increase the food that you're eating slightly, because a surplus doesn't mean, oh, this is a free-for-all, pizza, donuts, cookies, ice cream. You're going to gain a lot of fat doing that. So if you're in a surplus for like muscle building purposes, the goal is to build lean muscle. The goal isn't to just gain weight, you know? So that's literally all you do. You just have to find the foods that you enjoy, the same foods that you enjoy, for a calorie deficit need to be your maintenance foods. You cannot have two completely separate types of foods and then expect you to maintain weight once you're off your calorie deficit, right? Okay. So I'm just gonna go through my notes because, you know, I ramble and I want to make sure I covered everything. Yes. So, and that's another way to learn as well. So kind of like I've been preaching, you know, you have to learn how to do this. Someone can hand you this lovely meal plan. Great. And then what? You're going to eat that forever because you don't know how many calories are in other things and you don't have any other options now because you know this works. That's not realistic, you know? So this is all a learning process, but you need to track all of your foods. That way you know what you're doing, you know what to eat, you know what feels good for you, you know what you enjoy. And then when you do go up to maintenance, you can eat the same things, you just bump it up a little, you know? Oh, I used to have a cup of this, now I can have a cup and a half. Let's see how that feels. And that's how that really works, you know? All right, so yeah, let's go into a little bit more of the, I guess, nitty gritty. So when we talk about macros, this is just me hammering this home, guys. So let's say, you know, you were eating 2,000 calories. This is a complete random example. This is actually my maintenance calories right now, but 2,000 calories, 130 grams of protein, you're doing 250 carbs, you're doing 40 grams of fat. Cool. That's my maintenance. Now, if I wanted to go into a calorie deficit, I would eat 1,500 calories, and then my macros would change, obviously, right? So I would keep my protein though at 130. No matter what my calories are, my protein will always stay at 1 gram per pound of body weight or whatever. Because I need to prioritize my protein, because if I'm in maintenance, I want to make sure I'm maintaining whatever muscle I have. And if I'm in a deficit, I need to make sure that I'm at least maintaining or at least losing minimal muscle mass, obviously, because when you're in a deficit, you want to lose fat. You don't want to lose muscle. So my protein will stay the same. But then guess what? My carbs go from 250 to 200 and my fat goes from 40 to 30. So nothing, like, the quality of the food and the types of food have not changed, just the quantities have changed, right? So if we think of it like that, I think that's just really, really going to help us, you know, as a whole, just be able to make this process just so much easier for yourself. So you're not trying to find, you're on a diet, you're like, oh, I'm on a diet, I don't know what foods I can eat when I'm on a diet. And it's like, you can eat the same foods that you eat when you're not on a diet. I mean, given that you eat, you know, balanced, mostly nutritious foods, obviously. Not if you're eating cake and bullshit and trash, you need to fix that first. Okay, so I already talked about this. Salads are not just healthy because somebody said they are, because there's lettuce involved. Like, okay, like I could show you 1,000, 2,000 calorie salad, buddy. Okay, so you know there are not healthy and unhealthy foods. So, and just remember that eating one meal, this is just in the grand scope of things, that eating one good meal or nutritiously healthy, balanced meal doesn't do anything. You know, I wish it did. What it does is it, you know, setting those little grains and those little steps, what it does is adds to that like self-confidence and that idea of I can do this. And so I wouldn't say it does nothing, but I mean for physical changes, it's not going to do anything. So get that part out of your head. Get the part out of your head that you're expecting to be a completely different person in 30 days, to look different, to act different, to eat different. That's just not going to happen, you know? So set yourself up for success and say, this is going to be my new lifetime goal. And, you know, if I get to this goal, great. I'm just going to continue to move forward in the steps that I know. This person who lives this healthy, balanced lifestyle, this person that I want to aspire to be, they take these steps and these actions every single day. And eventually, that's what's going to lead me to that. So think of it in terms of that. And I think that will just really help. So I did have a couple of things come through and I want to answer those. So thanks for asking. So one of them, the one that I want to do first is a one that I've gotten so many times, actually, not just this last time I asked for the questions. I've gotten this like months ago, and then I get it again and I get it again, and it always surprises me. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised by it because it's common. So I get, where do you buy these foods? And if that seems simple to you, it kind of hit me with like, are you kidding? The first time I heard it too. So let's not, you know, I don't want to be rude to anybody. If that is just like, that's stupid to you, cool, keep it to yourself, you know? But some people really, really don't know that. And guys, you can buy this food at any grocery store. Like, I really sometimes like don't even, I don't know if I'm like interpreting the question correctly, because I think people think that because there are these stores out there like Whole Foods and Sprouts and I don't know what other healthy organic food stores there are, that healthy food only is in those stores. Like, that's not the case at all. You can buy your foods wherever. I literally go all over the place. I go to Aldi because I love some of their like specialty stuff that they have. I'll go to Walmart, HEB. HEB is my jam right now because I just moved and we have an HEB. But whenever I was back where we were living, I just used to go to like the commissary, which is just like a Walmart or something. Literally any grocery store, guys. You want to shop at Target, you want to shop at Walmart, you want to shop at Publix, you want to shop at Winn-Dixie, you want to shop at, I don't care. All these foods are in these places. Like, there are no special stores. You don't need to go to Whole Foods to get healthy food. And you don't need to shop organic at that point either. But I won't get into that. And this kind of ties into the organic stuff. Someone asked, so is frozen and canned, like, what's the difference? Does it have to be fresh? Because I can't keep, you know, produce fresh that fast. And I can't either, sister. Hello. I don't go to the grocery store but once a week. I can't, and I don't even go anymore. That's a new video that I want to talk about, and that is grocery delivery. Game changer, okay, for your finances and for your the foods that you eat. But separate conversation. If you want me to do a video on that, let me know. But yeah, no. Don't let people convince you that organic is better or fresh is better than frozen or canned and blah, blah, blah. There is a tiny, this big amount of like nutritional value that's lost in like the freezing process and the canned process or whatever. But guess what? Having canned green beans is better than eating potato chips as your side. You know what I mean? So I know it's hard because I also think that we create these problems in our heads because we don't want it to be that simple, because then we're like, we're gonna have to start. Let's just keep overcomplicating it. You know what I mean? Like, no, I can't do it because I can't do fresh. So I can't do canned. I might as well not do it. And I don't think people do that intentionally. I think it's just self-sabotaging, you know? And that's not the case at all. Frozen, canned, if you want to go to the store every 2 days to get your shit fresh, I don't really give a crap. Do whatever you want to do. But don't think that you can't eat healthy because you can only buy frozen or canned or non-organic. And that's not, what's the point? That's insane. You know, that's not it. I don't care. That's not true. So if you can look it up, there's been studies, but that's not true. Okay. Oh, and this one, I've never had anybody ask this, but it is like talk in like, you know, the health and wellness space. Timing of your food. Does timing of your food matter? And the answer is no, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to matter if you do this as a sport. Like, this is your job. You are a paid athlete and it is your job to perform well and be physically fit. Or if you're like a bodybuilder or do like physique stuff like that, then the timing of like your protein and the timing of things is gonna matter. But other than that shit doesn't matter. Like, if you just want to lose weight, be healthy, work out, strength train, it doesn't matter, like, at all. Okay? Again, everything is gray, so, you know, some foods will make you feel better if you eat them before you work out, and some foods will make you feel better if you eat them after you work out. Some foods, you know, are better absorbed. Protein is better absorbed after you work out, and carbs are better for energy before you work out. Small little things like that. But that shit doesn't matter if you're just general health, population, want to lose some weight, want to get in shape, want to be able to run around with your kids, want to have a longer life. That doesn't matter at all. So I think that also boils down to overcomplicating it. It's like, well, I can't time my foods every 4 hours, so I'm missing my window of protein, so I might as well just not even do it. What's the point? You know, like, let's not overcomplicate it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you. You know, like I said, unless you are a paid athlete or, you know, you do this as like a sport, bodybuilding or whatever, then that's different, you know? Then meal timing will matter, but it's nothing that we need to be worried about because it literally doesn't matter to our progress. Okay? Okay. Cool. cool. I'm gonna go finish my coffee. I drink black coffee, not because I'm fancy, because I literally don't like milk. I don't like milk or cream or that taste of stuff. It just like, ugh. So let's see, is it still warm? Okay, cool. So I hope this was better, less fast-paced, less crackhead energy. And I hope you liked it, and I hope this provided you some value. So please let me know, because that's the point. All right, bye.